Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. So today's video we are going to be talking about some new updates with the Ace family, and they are so embarrassing. It always gets progressively worse. You guys know it always gets progressively worse with this family, and I swear to God, it's so humiliating. We're gonna talk about it today because, dear God, we're gonna be talking about the recent Austin mcbroom boxing, some new numbers that were actually released about payment. Before we hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell button down below. My merch, vlog channel, and everything else is linked in the description below. But before we actually get into everything though, I wanna talk about my absolute favorite perfume brand, Dossier. So Dossier is literally it's absolutely magical. Dossier is an incredible perfume brand that creates really affordable fragrances that are inspired by high-end designer perfumes, and literally, oh my God, it saved my life because there's some perfumes that are very expensive that I like. And I was like, I'm not spending that much money. It's absolutely not. However, I could get the inspired fragrance that to me smells identical, and I saved a ton of money. So now I want to talk about 3 perfumes that I've been absolutely obsessed with these past several weeks. So first of all though, I'm going to tell you this one I have been loving since the beginning of the summertime. This is Amber Saffron. This is literally so good. I'm not even kidding when I tell you I actually smelled this scent and recognized it in a New York hotel, and I was like, oh, it's that much of a recognizable, delicious, warm, yummy scent. This is completely my go-to. Amber Saffron is completely a winner for me. So another one that I've been wanting to get for more of those deeper, spicier vibes that I wanted to give off is this spicy vanilla. It is nutmeg, black pepper, and lemongrass. It's got a stronger, more masculine scent to it. Oh, it's got the spice, baby. And then of course, last but not least, aquatic vanilla, because I'm gonna be honest, I love holding on to the summer just a little bit more. And this got a hint of vanilla, marine notes, red fruits, rose. Oh my God, it's absolutely delicious. So if you're also a new customer, you automatically can get 20% off of your first order today just by getting started. But then additionally with my coupon code, which is Isabella Lanter 10, you get 10% off. So if you are a brand new customer just using my code, you can get up to 30% off of your purchase today. So already with the affordable perfumes, you're getting additional discounts, which are just, it's incredible. You want to purchase 1, 2, 3, or even more perfumes just because you want to go all out and revamp your collection. The more you purchase, the more you save. They add bigger discounts the more that you buy, and it's just an absolute steal. Dossier has a program called Pay with Catch, where if you pay with Catch, you actually can get more bonuses and additional savings simply by purchasing. So if you go now and actually click it at checkout, you can get a $10 bonus, which again, you're saving more money, you're getting more perfumes. It's a win-win for everyone. And then also because I absolutely think that this is really important, I've had perfumes before where I have just smelled it and they weren't really for me, but Dossier is all about making sure that their customers are happy. So you can literally send a perfume back completely free of charge, no big deal. And then also you do not have to worry about any waste because Dossier is completely dedicated to avoiding waste. So every time that you actually return a bottle or something doesn't work out, they're all about having no waste, which I think is really, really awesome. So go now in the description below and use code Isabella Lanter 10 for 10% off of your purchase today, and go see all the amazing deals and scents. There are so many incredible ones that I absolutely love, and I will list the ones that I mentioned today among many others that I'm obsessed with in the description below, so that way you guys can try. And that was it, and now let's get into today's video. The Ace family I've actually covered, and if you are curious and want to learn a little bit more about the family and their problems, I will have my actual deep dive pop up over here. It's honestly, it gives you the full dive into of this entire family, so I recommend you go checking that out first and then coming back here to kind of catch up. Austin mcbroom was doing this whole boxing thing, that was his big thing. I don't know why he did it, I'm gonna be honest. It was the shittiest business move on his end. But boxing, we talked previously about how he was doing a boxing event, and that actually was a huge scam, honestly, because many people were not getting paid from this event. So with the boxing event, I believe there were different types of boxing moments. So there were certain people that were boxing and then give it a minute and then the next group was boxing, that kind of stuff. And so again, I really don't know shit about boxing in general, but that was the gist of what I was getting from it. It was a previous event with boxing and it was a really big deal. Apparently there was a lot of money filtering through this and it was an absolute freaking failure. They had it to where there was literally people that had not yet been paid. There were people that were still waiting on payment, and literally there were lawsuits that were getting created because of how badly this was done. And as you guys know, I already get irritated with this kind of stuff because to me, if you're gonna host something that massive, you need to be double checking, triple checking, make sure that you can handle that. Whether that's financially, whether that's the physical capacity of the building, you name it. Like, you need to be on your shit if you're gonna go that big. But clearly, Austin McBroom is incapable of actually handling something professionally, and I've noticed that the Ace family has a lot of issues with trying to do things themselves and horrifically failing instead of actually hiring professionals for these events. And so with these events, though, as you guys know, there are people that are hired for this, and of course they have individuals who are like more well-known creators who are part of working these events. So for example, there was an individual that I'm gonna be honest, I lack knowledge in who this person is, but his name is Keemstar on YouTube, and apparently he was a commentator for one of the previous actual events, and he had not been paid yet. And so apparently it was supposed to be a hefty amount, and there was actually an initiation for a lawsuit apparently that was going to be started. However, all of a sudden there was a post on Keemstar's page that actually was asking, hey, they're wanting to settle out of court for 20% instead. Do I take it? And the question was either take the money or take the Ace family play button. Now, if you guys don't know what a play button is, you get a play button if you're a YouTuber, if you hit certain milestones. So for example, if you hit 100,000, you get a play button. If you hit 1 million, you get a play button. And they just progressively get better and bigger as you get bigger in content creation. And with that, again, the 1 million play button is a really, really big deal for many people. That is like, that's a huge thing to accomplish. So I guess Keemstar is somebody that likes to literally take play buttons from people when it's either buying them or taking them due to legal problems. So they were able to do that, where I'm not kidding, he literally took the Ace family play button.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have settled outside of court. That's right, I've settled outside of court. You know my involvement in the Social Gloves 1 event, not just commentating, but all the work behind the scenes. You know, there was some money owed, and we negotiated an out-of-court settlement. I've settled for this. Thanks, Austin.
Yeah, so one, that's not even just like Austin's play button, you know what I mean? Because like if it was like some trophy that Austin had, whatever. But that's the Ace families, like that, again, that's connected to Austin, Catherine, Elle, their other children. Like that was a part of the family channel. And so the fact that now this guy literally has a play button, that's just so humiliating. And also I would like to add too, I think that kind of speaks volumes because we know, if you guys see my other videos, that the Ace family has had a lot of different lawsuits and legal problems. And they've had to pay hefty amounts between Catherine's 1212 gateway skincare scam, between just other issues in general with them having to pay a shit ton of money, house going into foreclosure, like all of that kind of stuff, right? And so with that, the fact that they were trying to pay 20%, but they were more willing to just get the play button, how much money do they not have? You know what I mean? And I honestly think that they're not doing as financially well as we really think, because genuinely, I truly think that they're starting to really financially struggle. And I think that's why there's other changes that I'm going to talk about here soon that they're making because of this major financial loss. I think all the money that they're literally trucking through for legal issues is starting to kick them in the ass. And I think they're starting to realize that they're not going to be able to keep up with their lifestyle as much because of the scenario. So I wanted to talk about how there was another content creator named Marky, I believe, on YouTube, and I really love his content. I think his content is really, really good. And so he actually had a video that was talking about these numbers and data. So this is where I'm pulling the numbers and data from. So like I said, how there was hefty amount of money being paid to people who are a part of the last major scammy event, in my opinion, for boxing. But now there's apparently alleged numbers that are being shared about who's being paid now. So you can literally look at the chart here, and I'll put it over as some of the screen recordings. But like, people were not getting paid shit compared to what most people usually would. And I was actually really surprised. The fact that this is technically a really low number for well-known people, people were accepting exceptionally low money in order to do this. And then additionally, I also wanted to say how there was other screenshots going around about how apparently there were some people who were going to potentially be a part of this boxing event, but the organizers for this event were saying like, we're tight on money. You're hosting an event, but you're exceptionally tight on money. Downgrade it, make it smaller, do something different. Why are you still doing it? But to me, it shows how desperate they are in order to make some sort of money at this point. Like literally there was someone who was a fighter in this event that got paid like around $900, a little less than $1,000 for this event. So you won your fight and you get paid less than $1,000, but But this is a well-known Austin McBroom fight and event, right? Like, how embarrassing is that? The disclosed information shows that the range for payment was $250K to $1,000. And again, not many people hit that high amount. So I think $250,000 was actually given to a major, like a very important athlete, I believe. And again, I don't know athletes, so I'm so sorry. All I'm saying is that's a major drop because allegedly people were getting paid millions for the last ones. Another thing I wanted to mention is how there were other creators and people that were trying to attend the event where the event was genuinely dead. Like, literally, it was so small, they were still trying to sell tickets. Even the day of, they were trying to post, trying to get more people to purchase. And again, they have insane amounts of subscribers on their YouTube channel. So I think they literally were thinking that this was going to get sold out, that this was just going to be another big event. Again, I feel like they just lack common sense because you'd think that you'd understand the majority of your audience is younger people. Possibly parents would come, but younger people. The turnout for this was fucking awful. But again, they run with this whole thing of like, well, it wasn't really that bad. It was like really the haters. It's just the haters that are saying that it looks like shit. But we have people that go to these events and video it all and show you the turnout was god awful. But like to the point where other people are making fun of them. But now for the wonderful part about this that I'm so happy about. Austin got humbled and got his ass beat, literally and figuratively. So Austin McBroom was his turn and he was all hyped up and all cocky, and of course he was saying everything under the sun because he just had this belief he was gonna win. Well, several times this man hit the floor with the boxing event, and I don't know shit about boxing, but I know if you hit the floor like that, that's not very good. He finally got his ass hit and he was done, and so to the point where they actually took him to the hospital because they believed that he had a concussion. He was hit pretty hard. Like, it was hard hits, you guys. I'm just saying, I don't want someone just to get their ass beat, but I'm saying that somebody needed to humble this man severely and embarrass him. Just saying, okay? I will say though, he got to the hospital and there were some people that I guess knew him at the hospital and they were like, oh my God, what happened? What happened? And he had the nerve to actually be like bothered that they were asking that question because he's like, oh, well, you didn't watch it, you didn't see? They're working. How the fuck would they know? And again, he literally has this mentality and God complex that he is so important that everyone should know and everyone should keep up. So again, I think that mentality is literally and has been absolutely screwing the Ace family so severely to where they don't think the scams are that big of a deal. They don't think the lawsuits are that big of a deal, and that they think that they can lie to people continuously and still make insane amounts of money, which, okay, they still are making a lot of money, but for what they used to, not even close. The next day, what had happened was, again, there was tons of posts and tweets about how Austin McBroom lost his fight. Everyone was like, thank God. Austin actually came onto the Ace Family channel and discussed this whole situation. It started off with the original, like, oh, I'm so humbled, congratulations. Like, I'm sorry. Austin McBroom is congratulating the winner. I think he's just severely embarrassed because he got his ass kicked. Anyways, so he started to discuss a couple of things, which I will pop up over here.
Congratulations, my man. Well deserved. I'm so proud of you, bro. From the bottom of my heart, I'm proud of you, man. And I'm sure there are so many people out there that are so happy, and all I can really do or say is maybe you already know, or maybe you felt this, but Catherine, she hasn't been happy about me boxing. It's something I really enjoyed, I really did, and it made me happy, but it didn't make Catherine happy. And it comes the second part, which is, if I would have won last night, I would have obviously continued this boxing journey. I got to really thinking this morning, and it really hit me. And this boxing took me away from that. As you guys know, me and Catherine, we haven't been the same Ace family for a little while now. Our content has been dry, we haven't been consistent. And that showed what we truly enjoy doing and what we promised each other from the very beginning when Catherine and I first got into this game. We always promised each other that, you know, we're going to create content to put a smile on people's faces.
But anyways, like I said, discussing things about how, well, you know, I know the Ace Family content has been really dry. I know things haven't been as good. And like, I feel I want to travel. I want to do things with my family. And I know Catherine really didn't like it as much. I'm going to be honest, I call bullshit on that because think about it too. There have been many, many times, and again, I do not fucking like Catherine at all, but many, many times Catherine has vocalized she did not like the boxing. She thought it was dangerous. She thought it was stupid, which again, so did all of us. this. He literally ignored it. And again, he vocalized as well how if he had won, he would have still kept going. So it had nothing to do with Catherine, I don't think, because if he actually cared about her concerns for the safety and well-being, and again, he is the father of several children, I understand her wanting him to be safer. I really, truly don't think Catherine had anything to do with that. I think it had to do with his ego is bruised, and he's realizing that certain things that he's had a hand in for so long are dropping, and I feel like they're starting to run out of options because vocalizing that the channel content has not been as good, how certain things have not been as great, and how again, like, he would have done it still, I don't think he's really learned much of a lesson. But I do think that it's important that he has been humbled and embarrassed. So who knows where this is gonna go from here, but again, part of me doesn't have a big belief that he is going to necessarily change or anything, because there is a laundry list of problems, scams, and crazy stuff that's happened between these people, but they still do it. So at this point, a part of me is thinking that they're going to try to find a new innovative way of making money and being more family and wholesome. I think they're starting to realize that they might have to go back to their roots of being family and wholesome again. So I think they're going to start trying to target that more because they know that's where the money's at. Because again, let's be real here. Their content popped off heavily when it was mainly family-based content, mainly family-based stuff. When they started stepping into the stuff that had nothing to do with the Ace family, but more to do with Austin's God complex, and then Catherine wanting to do stuff that also was very scammy as well, I think they started realizing that their demographic was literally not going to really give a shit about this, and the fact that they couldn't handle it. So I think they possibly might take a step back, who knows, but that was what is going on right now. Either way, the entire thing is just so ridiculously embarrassing to say the least, but I just feel still so heartbroken for those kids, because imagine your dad sharing all of these absolutely embarrassing tweets and things about how he's going to win the fight, then he gets his ass absolutely handed to him, and then also your mother, who literally had to be removed from a company website because she literally could not even fulfill the most basic things with the company she didn't even have to hardly run, and then all these other things, and then people just simply hate the Austin and Catherine duo. So my heart breaks for those kids, because like, this is genuinely building a plethora of things that they could be made fun of for in the future, that things that they're going to be ashamed of because of that. And additionally, another thing I want to point out is we've highlighted how I think Austin can be I think he's a childish narcissist in my opinion, and again, this is all just my inference and opinion, because seeing some of his mannerisms, the way that he's even spoken to the kids and Catherine too, not ignoring how Catherine's a shitty person as well, but I'm just saying, I feel like he is a very pissy person and not a very respectful person if he doesn't get his way. So especially with things like with the boxing, I think that the front of him feeling humbled was more because I feel like there was a different side to him in private with his family, and I feel like he probably would have been more mean and neglectful. That's just my personal opinion from an inference from other things that I've seen, but I think with all these things hitting me, it also makes me very concerned for the children, because the children are, again, they live in that house. They feel that shitty energy. They are around these adults that are acting childish, and I know that has long-term very sad effects. So that was it for today's video, but oh my god. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay glowy, my beautiful queens. Love you. Bye.